Welcome, everyone. I'm Greg Kahn, the President and CEO of the Iotc Consortium, known as the Iotc. Today, we have an amazing panel of those on the leading edge of smart home technology, which is particularly important for us during this COVID-19 pandemic, a period we're calling the now normal. Thanks so much for being with us today, guys. My first question today is about the role that voice is playing in our smart home. We know that everybody is working, living, talking to their doctors, trying to stay entertained while we're in the pandemic. What is the role that voice is playing right now and as we emerge from this stay-at-home condition that we're all in?
So one of the things I think that has been, remarkable, but also that we've been seeing growing over time, you talked about it, is the power of voice. We were all touching things prior to this, right? And now we're being instructed to wash our hands. And so in a world where you're transitioning from a touch world, maybe even gestures, into voice commands, I think one of the things that we're seeing is people feel far more comfortable having a conversation with a device than touching a device now that they are used to touching all the time that leaves the home. And I think that's where voice has a unique power to play a assisted role.
We're seeing a lot of interest in smart lighting. There's really no reason to be flipping on and off switches. And especially for those of us that have family members coming into the house that are grocery store workers, medical professionals, there's already so much focus around that. And that is a huge space where we can just take that off the table. So we've seen a lot of interest related to that.
One of the big questions that consumers have always had with smart home devices relates to privacy. What are some ways that Amazon, Google, and LG are protecting consumer privacy when they're using these devices?
Some of it, frankly, is a little narrative fallacy, but some of it is very real, right? And so we've really taken this approach that it is privacy by design, right? The intent and everything that we do in our first party Alexa services that are private by design. And so when we start to look at how that figures out, we really are listening to the customer and letting them lead on this part.
And one of the things that LG did, just very simply, just to call this out, is give consumers the capability of disabling the microphone without disabling any of the other features on the device. And it's very important to give consumers control over the level of privacy that they want to establish in their home.
For one thing, we don't by default hold on to any of your audio recordings. We don't retain them at all. You can decide if you want to improve the quality of your audio recordings. You can let Google do that, but it's completely off by default. We are actually starting to do a lot of that compute on device. Most importantly, our face match technology is all done on device, and so it's kept out of the cloud on the client itself. Which is great. And then of course, Nest Cam streams and DO video streams are all encrypted.
COVID-19 has overwhelmed our entire healthcare system across the globe. But yet in many ways, smart home technology can help us get out of this situation that we're currently in. How do you think technology can be used today to help to bridge the gap between doctors and consumers, insurance providers and hospitals?
You talked about what is it that we can do today. As you start to look globally, for us, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and the Indian Council for customers in India are using Alexa to check their symptoms for COVID-19 and ask, what do I do if I think I have coronavirus? And I think that, when you take a look, those are very simple things that we can help people with and guide them to the right interaction and almost play the role of triage. In some cases.
Yeah, I think one of the big things right now is being able to get HIPAA compliant devices into hospitals because it's so important that you can track where that data is going. So that is a big next step to make that possible. How do we work with regulators to get this into these spaces more quickly?
Travis, you're tapping into something incredible, bringing sports into IoT. Can you share with us exactly how you're reaching sports fans worldwide with technology?
The big insight for us was that there are billions and billions of dollars being invested right now in the IoT space, particularly around smart stadiums and the fan engagement experience on game day. Yet 99% of us are not in the stadium. And we saw it as a huge opportunity and a way for us to look to create new channels and ways for teams and brands to engage that 99%. So here's an example of what that could look like. And this is what we're currently working on, which is a smart speaker for sports fans. The base is where we hold all the technology, and then the top will interchange. So this could change from a football to a basketball to a soccer ball. And even down the track, we see opportunities for this to extend potentially beyond sport, where the soccer ball that you see on screen now could be replaced with a Darth Vader helmet or an Elvis head, or potentially a Gordon Ramsay head that sits in your kitchen, and when you're asking it for recipes, he's swearing and yelling at you during the cook-off. We don't want to be seen as a smart home or an IoT company. We want to be seen as a company who are owning fan engagement in the home. We're simply using smart home technologies and IoT to deliver those experiences.
This was incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time. If you're not already a member of the IOTC, joining is an awesome way to get access to these types of conversations, high-level networking, and yes, also training. So please reach out to us either at iofthings.org, via Twitter, LinkedIn, to learn much more and to be part of our programming going forward. Again, thanks for being part of this amazing community. We'll see you on the next IOTC Now.